So what prompted you to go to law school?
I actually have an undergrad in health science, and I was really suited for the medical field. And I was actually a life-altering phenomenon just happened to me where I was just over the bureaucracies of the medical field, and I went to legal counsel over a malpractice suit, and it just really opened my eyes to the legal world and really changed my whole direction in life and what I felt like I was destined to do. And that's what really brought me here today, and I've never been happier with my decision.
Good. So you're in law school, and I remember it was super stressful.
I've had my doubts. Everyone says the first year is your hardest, where you cry every other day and question
of course.
what you're doing with your mental health and what prompted you to even do this. You kind of lose focus, but you kind of regain yourself. I think if you're meant to be in it in your second year and your third year, and it all kind of comes to fruition.
Do you know why they do that? And now it all makes sense. It all comes full circle. Is that they make the first year so incredibly difficult, and they are in your face. I mean, they will call on you randomly and ask you the most in-depth questions, and you'll feel embarrassed in front of other people, and you'll be like sick at night because you're like, I want to make sure I'm prepped enough for it. And the whole reason is it's supposed to say, if you can make it through this year, then you can make it through being a lawyer, because that's just a piece of what it's like when you're actually practicing.
Absolutely. I think making sure you're anxiety ridden just puts you on your toes at all times, because it prepares you for real life scenarios when the judge calls on you to answer motions or pleadings that you've put in front of them, and you're on the spot. And I think that's what the Socratic method is meant to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it was everything that they had prepped you for. I remember it was just very days that I felt the same thing. Like you didn't feel like you could put any more information to your brain, and you couldn't really overcome that type of stress and fear that you were feeling. But if you can do it, then you'll make it. So you finished your year 2, right? You're in year 2 now.
I finished up my first year. I'm finishing up my first semester of my second year at law school. Everything's going really well. I'm not crying as much. So.
Good. That's always a good sign. If you're not crying as much, then I think that you're on a win. I think that's like, it goes up from there. So that is good. I'm happy that you're here because we have Darby, because we are going to be talking about some legal issues regarding the George Floyd case. And so, and Darby, who is just doing criminal procedures and learning all about your criminal rights, your constitutional rights, we're going to be able to talk about some of those, because it's important that people know them. Because until I went to law school, there were so many things I didn't know that we were entitled to, like that were created in order to protect us. And that's the whole thing about law, is that the more you know, the more empowered that you feel, the more less victimized arguably you'll be. And that's the reason why that I felt the motivation to go to law school, was to figure out a way to take that knowledge for myself, but also be able to help others. So now that Darby's here, we're going to be able to go through some of it, and she'll be able to give us some of her thoughts and questions that she may have from what she was seeing, because we are now kind of unraveling the George Floyd case with Derek